Did y'all dock? Easy. Okay, so today I want to give you my experience. One of the bigger culture shock as an American experiences I've had so far. While I was over in Europe recently on tour, I had my first experience at a German sauna. You Europeans probably know what I'm talking about. A little backstory for this that you guys probably need to know if you're not from the US or North America in general. What you need to know is that Americans are very weird about nudity or anything like that, because in our culture in the US, everything is like hypersexualized, and from a very young age, I don't know exactly what it is. I guess some of it is religion, some of it is just culture. We're taught to be very ashamed of being naked, whether it's in front of other people or seeing other people naked. And for Americans that always act like they're not weirded out by stuff, like we are quite prude as a people, for sure. So yeah, we are taught from a very young age that it is not appropriate and very weird to be naked in front of other people, even in like group shower settings. I remember when I was a kid playing sports in like school, if we had like baseball practice early in the morning and like before school and we needed to shower beforehand, everybody was wearing like swimsuits, like bathing suits, like swim trunks and stuff, because nobody wanted to be naked in front of somebody else. And I think, 20 years ago, or a little longer than that too, that was when like the big insults were to call people gay and stuff. So it's like, if you were in a shower with another guy, it's gay. It's really immature, stupid stuff. But for this story, you really need to understand that Americans are quite weird about being naked in front of other people. And since we're talking about traveling, right now would be the perfect time to talk about the sponsor of today's video, our friends over at NordVPN. Now, if you're a regular to the channel, there's no doubt you've heard me talk about NordVPN in the past. Not only are they the fastest VPN on the planet, but they never track your online data, and they allow you to be safer online at the click of a button. Because aside from the really cool features like being able to keep up with your favorite streaming shows while you're traveling, or right now for me, keeping up with all of the Euro Cup matches going on, my favorite thing about NordVPN is Threat Protection Pro. This is a feature that is just built right into NordVPN. And the best part is you don't even need to be connected to a VPN for it to work. It just works in the background. So if you download something online, it'll scan that download for malware, viruses. It'll block websites that are suspected of phishing and scamming. And it even has a built-in ad and pop-up blocker, so you can surf the web and watch videos without constantly getting bombarded by pop-ups. So if you'd like to stay safer online and take advantage of some of the things I was just talking about, head over to nordvpn.com/tankthetech, or I'll just put a link in the description of the video and in the pinned comments. And right now, if you take advantage of their 2-year plan that they're offering, you'll get an additional 4 months for free right along with it. And on top of all of that, if you're feeling, I don't know if I really need this, they also offer a risk-free full 30-day money-back guarantee. So thank you to everybody for taking the time to watch this. Thank you once again to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. And now, German saunas. While I was over in Germany, I had a day off, and one of the guitar players for Electric Callboy was like, hey, since we got nothing to do you want to go to the gym? And then afterwards we can go to the sauna. And I was like, yeah, cool. Because as an American, sauna isn't a big thing over here. If you do see a sauna, it's usually a very small one for 1 or 2 people that's like at a gym or something like that. So, we go to the gym, get a good workout in. And afterwards, like, we go back to the locker room, and I was like, oh, are we like going somewhere else, or is the sauna here? And he's like, no, we're going to go to a place. It's like a spa, like a sauna. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. You guys know, like a lot of the times I'm in Europe, I just kind of go with the flow. I'm experiencing new things. I'm like, whatever. So I didn't really ask questions. Like, I was just like, let's go, whatever. So we get to this like really big place. I don't know exactly where it was, but we get to this really big place. And when you first walk in, it's like, it's not just a sauna. It's like an indoor pool for like families, and they had like water slides for kids and stuff. So you go up to the front desk, you pay for like a day rate in the sauna. They give you like a bath towel and a couple towels, and we go into the locker room, which the first like kind of weird culture shocky thing for me was it was one locker room, all ages, mixed, everything. And I was just like, wow, like my first thought in my head was like there were like kids in there and stuff, and women and men. And the first thought in my head was just like, This would never fly in the US. Like, people would lose their minds. Now, nobody's like changing in front of the kids and stuff. Like, it was literally a locker room, just lockers to put your stuff in. And they had separate changing rooms and stuff. So it wasn't weird, but like, that's just not a thing in the US at all. So we get changed. And like, as we started to change, I was like, I kind of looked at who I was with, and I was just like, wait, are we just getting naked right now? And they were like, yeah, why wouldn't we? And I was just like, all right, whatever. So we go to the changing room, strip down, throw on the bath towel, stuff like that. And then once you leave that area, you go through a set of doors that are like specifically for adults. Like, they don't let the kids in the sauna area or anything like that. It's all adults. So we're just walking around in like bath towels and stuff. And there's another set of locker rooms in there that were, again, mixed, like men and women, but no kids in there. So everybody is just stripping down and getting naked and stuff. And I'm like, at first I was just like, this is like, again, it's like if this would not fly in the US. Like, you know how weird people are about like all-inclusive bathrooms and stuff, and you know, people are going crazy over like, transgender people shouldn't be using bathrooms, but like they have shared locker rooms over here. So it was just weird for me to see that. But before we went in the sauna, like, they just started taking their towels off, and they're like, oh yeah, we all got a shower. So we go in the shower. There's like 10 other dudes in there. I just realized, I'm like, nobody cares. It's just so unlike the US, where everybody's just weird about everything. Like, I have been on tours before. I have been on larger tours, like arena tours, where in the crew dressing room backstage, there are shared showers, like because it's arenas or where sports team plays, and they're like shared like locker room showers. And I've been on tours where I go in and there's like 10 people waiting on the benches in there while one person showers at a time. And I'm like, why isn't everybody just going? They're like, oh, it's weird. You don't want to go in a shower when there's another dude in there. And I'm like, why not? We've all got dicks. Like, it's not like we're seeing anything we haven't before. Like, who cares? So people thought I was weird because in the US on tours like that, I would go into the shower if somebody else was in there in a big open, like 20 shower head shower. I don't care. So I wasn't really weirded out, but like after we showered and stuff, this place was so cool because there were like 8 different temperature saunas, and then there were a bunch of different temperature showers, and then like ice baths and like cold pools. And then outside they had like a really deep in-ground saltwater pool that you could just walk outside, and surrounding this whole place was like a forest basically. So, and it was pouring rain out. So it just felt like being in the middle of the wilderness in like Scandinavia or something. It was really cool. But anyway, so we go to do our first sauna, and they're like, oh, let's start easy. Let's start at 90 Celsius. And me, I'm just like, I don't know anything about sauna. So I'm just like, okay, like, whatever, let's try it. So as we're going in, I don't know the rules or anything. Like, we're going to walk into the sauna, and everybody just starts taking their bathrobes and their towels off. Everybody's naked. There's already like 10 other people in there. They're naked, men and women. And like, I had my sandals on still. And like, one of the people we were with was like, dude, take your sandals off. Like, I'm like, okay. And then I go to sit down, and then before I sit down, they're like, yo, dude, like, put your towel down. I didn't know any of the rules or anything. Like, I just kind of followed like what they were doing. So I go into the first sauna, like, I take my sandals off, I put the towel down, and I sit down. And I will admit, for the first few minutes, it was weird. As an American that grew up here, like with that culture of like, it's weird to be naked in front of other people, especially people that you know so well. Like I was with band members, like, and some of their friends and stuff like that. But we just sit there, and I'm just like, for the first few minutes, I'm just kind of like taking it all in. And I'm like looking around, and people are having small conversations, but like nobody's being weird. It's not like when you go to the gym in the US and like any woman that's there that's trying to work out is getting hit on by like every fucking dude there. Like, that's not happening at all. There was nothing weird or creepy about anything at any point in this sauna. So the first sauna that we were in was the 90-degree one. I think I made it like 5 minutes, and I like checked my heart rate. Like, I just kind of felt my wrist, and I was like, holy Like I was counting like 150 BPMs or something. I was like, I got to get out of here. So I got up and I walked out, went and took a shower, just, you know, cold water, you know, and they came out and they were kind of like laughing a bit because I couldn't take it. Grant Truesdell from Unleash the Archers in the house. Grant just said, I also attended my first German pool experience, not knowing how things roll down there. I didn't realize everyone was naked until people started to get out of the hot tub I was in. Then I continued to look around and realize everyone was naked except me. No one told me. Yeah, so I just went with the flow and I was naked the whole time. I got out of the sauna, just naked, whatever, threw my bathrobe on, but had it open, went to the shower. After that, they had a restaurant in this place and we went and got food. It was really good too. Like the food was actually great. And they told me that they were very impressed with how I handled our waitress because they said she was a very stereotypical, I think, what's the German term for that area is like Ruhrpott? Like a Ruhrpott area or person or something. I mean, the Ruhr area. No, everybody at the restaurant was not nude. No, people were wearing clothes at the restaurant. So it was just that attitude, that Ruhrpott attitude. And she was very to the point and like order. And I was just like, you know what? I'm doing this in German. So she came up and everybody ordered in German. And then she looks at me and I was just like, für mich, die Pasta Alfredo und die Currywurst. And when I said currywurst, she was like, she gave me this weird fucking look. Like this dude's ordering Alfredo pasta and currywurst. Like what the fuck? But it was so good. Not together. Like I ate them separately, but I wanted both of them. But yeah, I really dove in with my German this trip. I tried to use it as much as possible instead of being like, sorry, I don't speak good German. Like I just went for it. So we ate. And then the next thing was they noticed at this sauna, they had schedules of like special events in the saunas going on. So they had, at, I think it was like 8 o'clock, it was a 105 Celsius sauna with, it was a music session. So they brought in like, they brought in a little JBL and they had like fucking relaxing music playing. And there's probably 30 people in this sauna. And I was like, dude, 105 is going to kill me. And they're like, nah, the second one's easier. Trust us. And I was like, okay. And I didn't know that they were going to have, an employee in there. Sorry, I just saw Grant's comment. That'll get put in a YouTube video. I didn't know that they were going to have an employee in there pouring shit on the rocks and stuff and having a towel and whipping it around like this. And then they had a giant fan that they were just blowing in your face. Aufguss. Yeah. Yep. Dude, there was a couple times where I was like, I don't know if I can breathe. And then they started putting like eucalyptus on it and shit. And like your sinuses just opened up. I was like, however, I will say, I'm very proud to say that me and the 3 other people I was with made it the longest. We were the last ones out of the 105-degree sauna. I made it. It was like 12 minutes. Like, I know that doesn't sound like a long time, but in a sauna, that's fucking, dude, I made it. I was so proud of myself. Afterwards, decided to do it the Finnish way. Went over to the fucking ice bucket and just ice everywhere. It was semi-enjoyable, but also semi-not at the same time. After that, went outside to the saltwater pool. Enjoyed hanging out in a fucking heated saltwater pool in the pouring rain, surrounded by trees. Just felt like a fucking Viking for a second. I was like, it was pretty awesome. After that, we did another sauna. I think we went back to like a 90-degree one. And this one again was Aufguss. Again, with all the eucalyptus. Eucalyptus. Open up the sinuses some more. And after that, we went out to one of the outdoor ones and we were the only ones in there. But it seemed different. It didn't seem like Aufguss. I think it was literally just a fireplace, if I remember right. And that one was hot, dude. I think that one was about 105 too, but it didn't feel as bad because they weren't steaming it up. I think after that, I think we just showered and took off, but it was like after the end of it, I was just like, I was so blown away just again from my like American background. I was like, wow, this is so wild. Like there was like nothing weird about this at all. Like nobody seemed to be uncomfortable or weird. When I told this story to both my parents, like my dad and my mom was like mortified. She thought it was so weird. And I told her on the phone, I was like, when I tell you, I was like just naked for the better part of 6 hours. Like I'm not exaggerating. Like after a while, I just didn't care. And then I was telling my dad about it and he's just like, well, yeah, that's just how culturally different it is. Like even the people that were in there, like there were some older dudes in there that you could tell were regulars that would walk into the sauna and like, they have like a grin on their face and they'd be pointing at people and be like, hey, like, you know, you could tell there was like there were like regulars in there that knew each other and stuff. But when we were leaving, I was telling the guys, man, I was like, this is wild. And they're like, they were blown away because I thought it was so weird at first. I was like, you don't understand. If a place like this opened in the US, it would be headline news. As I said in the beginning of the video, like Americans are from a very young age so weird about sexual stuff, or well, it's not even sexual. It's just like we're taught to think that anything nudity wise is sexual. So that's why Americans are so weird about this kind of stuff. There would be people like protesting a place like this in the US. Like it's crazy, but I just had such a good time and it was so relaxing after like going to the gym. And then I don't think I've slept that good in a long time. And now I'm like, every day I just want to go to the sauna while I'm in Germany. So, I mean, there's so many things about Europe to me that are awesome and so much different than the US. And it has made me really realize like, man, like we are really uptight about stuff. We are really uptight about stuff, and it's the wrong stuff. I mean, when it comes to the nudity thing, a lot of you guys, maybe some of you guys remember this, maybe some of you don't. You Europeans probably heard nothing about this. But back in the early 2000s, when George W. Bush was president, I think he was the Secretary of Defense or the Speaker. I can't remember who it was, but there was a guy named John Ashcroft. And what John Ashcroft is known for is he made the biggest fucking deal ever about the Lady Liberty, the statue, and like outside of like the courthouses, like the Supreme Court and stuff, has a bare breast showing. He every day made the biggest deal about it, and even went out of his way to like get these drapes that he draped over this fucking statue like every day because it had a bare breast showing. That is how Americans think, dude. Shinebox just said uptight about nudity, but you can get a gun at Walmart. America! Yeah, absolutely crazy, dude. So that was one of my biggest culture shock moments so far. German sauna experience, dude. But I gotta say, I absolutely loved it. And one of my favorite things about touring and working in this music industry is getting to travel around the world and see how different people are. And the more I travel, the more I just think to myself like, man, I should be living somewhere else. Which may or may not happen soon. I don't know. But yeah, that's about it. I just kind of wanted to share this just because of how wild it is, like the difference between European and American culture with certain things. It's just crazy to me. So I'll wrap up this story here. While we're on Twitch, we'll probably talk a little more, but for you guys that are watching on YouTube later, let me know your thoughts, because I know that this is probably wild to some people that are hearing this, whether you're European and you didn't know how uptight Americans are, or if you're an American and you didn't know how loose Europeans are, like by our standards. It's wild. There's a lot of cultural differences that are really, really wild that I'm like finding out more and more. So to those of you that were here on Twitch, thank you for being here. For those of you watching on YouTube later, I am home from tour right now. So if you want to join us on Twitch, you can go to twitch.tv/TankTheTech. We talk about a lot of random stuff and tour stories and reactions and stuff. You can also follow me on tons of different social media. @TankTheTech is my handle on just about everything. But until next time, wherever you are in the world, be safe, be kind to each other. I love you all, and I'll be back very soon.